That's why he's perfect on Dragonshire. There's more split soak than on any other map.
Another map I like him on is Infernal Shrines, for instance, when you can take the Punisher or tank the Punisher. You know, soaking up through and
yeah, I mean,
right.
that's the first time.
This is the best battleground for the Lost Vikings. And Team Dignitas knows that Team Liquid is one of the most avid Vikings players. We can remove that immediately.
They're also one of the most Garden of Terror avid little players in terms of they almost always will go here over any other team. Very rarely do you see teams go to Garden of Terror other than Team Liquid.
But didn't almost everybody that tried it recently lost on it? It kind of felt like it, from what I remember.
At the very least, Team Liquid gets a free ban because they will have to get, not have to, but probably Vikings will be removed. That means that they can go ETC Uther now.
That is definitely a thing. I mean, it's definitely in their comfort zone. They've proven that time and time again. And there we go.
Fast start being prioritized. I mean, Mighty Gust, to be honest. I was the first one to adopt this heroic. Every single game that we've seen with Fastad, he's done a sick job. He's engaging, helping to catch the objectives. Anytime you're in trouble, you just use that heroic and that's it.
I feel that a game going on longer and longer and longer, when we kind of see the start of Heroes of the Storm, we saw everyone going damage, 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 power, 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 in a very crude sense. As the game's developed, it's becoming all the more about positioning, being able to knock people away, displacement, disruption. And I think that people...
That's the new meta.
Yeah.
Maybe later it will change. Maybe people will look at Mighty Gust and will be like, why do you have to run away from fights? Just get hinterland and win the fight.
You always have those back and forth. If you look at Hearthstone, actually, we are now in the control meta, where controlling the battlefield becomes really important. Force field, a force wall and Mighty Gust are so good, whereas at the beginning of the game, both in Hearthstone and here, you have all these all-ins like Judgment, Hinterland Blast, delete the single player.
Yeah. All right, Sonya's going to be picked up here for Team Dignitas pretty early on in the drafts compared to where she was before.
Uther is still available. Would be a fantastic addition here to Team Dignitas' starting three, and they'd be taking it away from Team Liquid.
But I mean, it's Team Dignitas. Hey, Bakery, I can't remember when I saw him playing Uther for the last time. It's almost always Karazim and Lieutenant Morales. And to be fair, I play Lieutenant Morales myself quite a bit, and it works with Sonya. I mean, she's got great single target protection. She's capable of potentially using Stim Drone on her.
Yeah. So do you just go Murden here because you're okay with any of the three healers coming out, even if Uther or Kara gets banned?
Yeah, I think that would be great, because I don't think Team Liquid is going to steal away the Morales here.
It can always be a ban, but indeed a steal away would be highly surprising. Yeah. So that does leave Murden, maybe, who is a fairly okay counter to Sonya.
Hey,
there we go.
Worked it out.
Well analyzed, guys. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up.
They can hear us.
I think it's a good move. From Team Liquid now, do they ban Morales and then pick up Karazim themselves?
TRL is still out there as one hero that's done pretty well when he's came out.
And it's Athero, so taking away Tyrael from them could actually be pretty good considering.
Yeah. It fits really well with Dignitas' draft. Tyrael, Murden, Sonya Kel'Thas, and then a healer is quite scary.
I'm taking the time about this. The thing is the Garden of Terror matches usually go on a little longer than other matches in Heroes of the Storm when it comes to the battlegrounds. So aiming for a later game can oftentimes have you a good position, but that's not to say that you should forget and abandon the laning phase, of course.
That's actually why Abathur is really good on this battleground as well. Yeah. It's great in late game. Maybe Dignitas removes Abathur here. After already setting that pattern with removing Lost Vikings in the first ban.
You know what's also really good in Garden of Terror? Picking Karazim and going for Soothing Breeze at level 16, because they can actually cleanse the polymorph from the big Garden Terror. So
I like that.
That might actually be a niche thing here for Bakery to actually go back to his roots and pick a Karazim.
Maybe if you have a secondary support, it becomes even more likely. I'm not sure on the numbers whether you can allow that otherwise. Still in the late stage of this, denying the Uther ETC combination.
Does this encourage Liquid themselves to go into something like a TRL?
If they went Karazim Medic right now, that would be the sickest thing in the world.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
That would be so cool.
Actually, Team Liquid, they are definitely prone to do this kind of thing. They love Karazim damage dealers. So.
But Morales, though. But let's say if they were able to play every single hero equally and they had the full freedom of strategic choice, I think they follow Kalaris' suggestion here.
Yeah.
Morales Karazim would be ideal, but can they pull it off?
That's one part of the puzzle.
Skerdam Herd wants to take on the Morales here to try and test his positioning.
It would be interesting.
There is some decent dive though with Muradin.
Yeah, that is very true.
But Mighty Gust Mosh pit, please dive into that.
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas.
I'm disappointed. And it's going to be Sylvanas.
So Morales maybe?
Sylvanas, I guess they just want to rely on the whirling arrow quite a bit in these fights against the composition of Dignitas, and they know that they're actually in terms of healer.
I think Morales comes out here, but the fifth one is a real surprise, I think.
If you land the proper whirling arrow on a lot of heroes, including Morales, like you're going to be a great advantage as Team Liquid.
ETC solo tank, no real great room for any Reyna to come along. Morales is going to be the first choice as we anticipate.
Vala is possible. It's so standard that it just makes sense almost.
Mosh pit a part of the team, whirling arrow the rest.
Yeah.
The dream?
It's a very powerful combination. We've seen it before.
Zagara, I mean...
Oh, sure. Possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes that would make sense here. Dignitas, so far, in my opinion, are one of the most unpredictable teams here because they pull out fancy combinations or fancy picks every once in a while.
Even Leoric makes sense here, but it is going to be that Zagara.
So now Liquid, they've got two range damage dealer in Falstad and Sylvanas. They've got ETC as a warrior, Karazim as a healer. Do they need another warrior?
They've got...
Oh yeah, Karazim actually,
Yeah, Lowell, I mean...
They can go Malf and let Karazim be played by Lowell, or they let Gerrit Amherd play Karazim and actually go for a damage dealer or a tank.
What about a Brightwing?
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right, so we have our support Karazim this time around.
Finally, we have something that can hard engage on Morales, which we have seen a lack of before. So this is going to be the test to see if Team Liquid can do it.
True adaptation here to see if they can. And, you know, considering the first game, considering how well protected Medic was, this is how they're going to try and counter it. A very cool little draft that we're seeing here.
Yeah, and definitely shaking things up here compared to the group stage. And you see a lot of heroes that haven't really been picked a lot. I mean, Thrall, we've seen him actually quite a few minutes ago. And I wonder if Lowell can actually repeat the success that they had against Gamers 2 and bring Bakery a little bit under pressure here.
It feels like Dignitas, they have such a high level of comfort in these drafts, though. They are the ones forcing stuff out of Team Liquid.
No, I kind of would agree with that.
It used to be totally different in the European scene. Team Liquid were the ones completely outdoing everybody in the drafts.
I mean, looking at the drafts, guys, I still feel that Dignitas is really, really powerful here. Like, it feels, as you say, Todd, that they have comfort in this, and they were dictating it all along. Are we unanimous on that, or do you some disagree here?
Imagine Sundering opens the fight. Mosh pit is a secondary heroic that can also come into play. Diving on Morales is still a problem because you can walk into a Devouring Maw. So what's going to be very important is that Team Liquid flanks from many different sides.
And Wailing Arrow is going to be instrumental as well.
Yes.
Mighty Gust, push them into one side, get a 5-man Wailing Arrow, Mosh pit and Sundering, the dream.
In reality, you miss every one of those, and then
of course.
And then you die, and then all the seeds go away, and it's like, oh no, 2 Garden Terrors to contend against.
And then you lost the Siege Giant camp, and you got a base rate.
It's gone all wrong.
I think the Garden Terror is actually going to be a really big factor during team fights. I mean, if he interrupts ETC, if he stops Thrall from going ham against the Morales, he's going to have a major role appealing for his allies and also disabling the enemies.
I mean, you almost can't mosh. ETC has no room at all. You cannot mosh when a Garden Terror is about. So you have to wait until that's timed out. There's the potential that everybody could die in that time. So scary stuff. Let's get into it, though. It will be game number 2 here for the semi-finals between Team Dignitas 1-0 up against Team Liquid. Let's get into Garden of Terror. Take it away, Todd and Kendrick.
So, thank you, Kalaris. This time, as we said, we're playing on Garden Terror, the first time ever during this tournament, the DreamHack Winter All-Stars. And hopefully not the last time, because I personally like that map quite a bit. On the left side, we see Vortex on the Falstad, Chris on the Sylvanas, Lucifer playing the tank here, which is, of course, ETC. Then we have Gerdamer on the Monk, and Lull on the Thrall. And on the other side, we see Team Dignitas, Morales being played by Bakery, Snitch playing the Zagara, Murden once again in the hands of Shrimpy, and Ethereal Angel here on the Sonya. And last but not least, we have, of course, JPL on the trusty old Kel'Thas.
Ethereal Angel had a really good game.
Look at how quickly they disposed of that first tower.
Yeah, with the new scaling and with how little damage you take from it, it's actually a really cool play here that we saw where they went there,
and totally caught Dignitas off guard. I mean,
actually, that bottom tower as well from Team Liquid took quite a bit of damage here from the Zagara.
Yeah. So what a nice little sneaky move here, securing a little bit of a talent, experience edge already on Team Liquid now. Oh,
you're a long way from home, and it's gonna go down.
Yep.
Double
Feels
season
bad,
marksman, by the way, on Fastad and Thrall.
And I mean, this is a great map to go once again for these stackable talents like Regeneration Masters, Season Marksman, Conjurer's Pursuit, because they're just, or even the Mana Thirst on Kel'Thas, because there's an abundance of regeneration globes due to the huge number of mercenary camps and garden terrors. The neutral garden terrors, they drop those purple regeneration globes, which count as well.
Absolutely, yeah. If they can get enough of those, it's gonna come in really handy. Snitch is very low on hit points. Vortex is kind of baiting. Chris is around, ready to come in, take the takedown if he can.
How do you like the lineup here? Vortex on Falstad against Zagara. Falstad, do you think he has what it takes to actually clear creep as well, or?
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough. Like, you need to play fairly passive as well.
Yeah. I agree. Now, both teams are trying to collect as many seeds as possible, but as we're talking about it, Zagara, although being a great solo laner, not able to escape again. And the counter kill for Team Liquid. Karazim falling. Grand Paquete not having a good day.
These two teams truly testing our observer skills here. We're fighting all over the place simultaneously.
Yeah. Doing a great job, Reinforced, by the way. So kudos to him. Now we have Lucifron and Vortex, the two brothers, collecting as many seeds as possible. Now only the two neutral Garden Terrors left, and it's a very tricky situation if you find yourself fighting against that Garden Terror, because you have to be constantly on the lookout not to get ambushed by an enemy team, and in order to fight against two different enemies at the same time.
Yeah. Athero Angel, what a ninja. Just came in there, picked up a few gems. Let's see if he could be in trouble. Lucifron knocks back. Here, the Morales, that's gonna go down very quickly, but that means that they don't get Sonya then.
They have to maintain exactly that. It almost looked too easy here, how Team Liquid is getting kills in the early game. Usually not their strongest phase. We saw in the last game where Team Dignitas actually dictated the pace of the game now.
Trying to steal. Actually goes for the kill instead on Snitch.
Huge Envenom damage coming in here on Snitch, and he's gonna fall. We see the double Envenom effect on Thrall and Sylvanas. That's of course causing a lot of damage, but in return, wow, 3 heroes dead at the same time, and Team Liquid slowly but surely manifesting a pretty solid experience lead here, Todd.
We're 3 minutes into the game, and it's 4 takedown to 3. Already 7 in total happening. 86 seeds here to 93, 87 to 93, so not gonna be any terror here from the first Knights.
Yeah, and similar to the first Dragon Knight, the first Garden Terror is even a little bit more annoying to deal with, because he can really keep Pursuers CC'd with a Polymorph. He can disable buildings to deal even more damage than a Dragon Knight in the early game, so it's really hard to keep track and to keep that Garden Terror in town.
I'm hurt, kicking the hell out of these minions here.
Poor little bugger. That's actually a really cool thing to know, by the way, as well. If you hit minions or walls or buildings as well, it still counts as healing Torialis. Oh, get him hurt. It's a very slippery target due to the Radiant Dash. Trying to juke here, but Aethero Angel is having none of it. Landing the Ancient Spear and dealing a lot of damage, forcing him to retreat once more. Karazim, not the very strongest solo laner, has no wave clear at all. Usually a very hard time at disposing several enemies at the same time.
Liquid with a little bit of an earlier level 7 here, and then the experience leads. Pretty nice for them here to finally see them, you know, in an early game do well. Is this going to be enough though? Aethero Angel is going to get chased down.
Surrounded, but he has a medic behind his back, so that gives him a lot of comfort. Now turn back on Gerdamherd, but not enough burst damage to actually kill him here. Schwimpy
Thrall is rotating back actually. They might just turn around here, Dignitas, to try and get the fight.
Yeah,
it could be a 5-on-4 in a second here. ETC is going around.
Getting flanked. Shrimpy doing a good job at scouting that though, and using his Dwarven body to block the engagement here. Lucifer now getting hit by the Living Bomb. Not big of a deal. And Snitch during all that time is doing what Zagara does best, Todd. He is split pushing with his minions.
And doing a pretty good job. Going to be taking down the tower here in a second.
Yeah.
Let the rest of his team just escape basically as they were being rotated onto. Not too many camps are being taken, it looks like, by the way, in terms of easy camps and stuff for the time we're at in the game. Well, like the second night's going to be coming up in a minute.
That's a good point you make there, by the way. Taking mercenary camps on Garden of Terror is very important, and you have to know when and why, because as soon as a Garden Terror gets activated, all mercenary camps disappear. So you have to make sure to take them in time. Also, if you take one while the Garden Terror is being taken, the enemies know where you are, because that's the only dot on the minimap left where the enemy could be.
Absolutely, yeah. Usually, though, that rarely happens, and whoever does it, since they know, will be able to adjust properly. Gadamer taking quite a bit of damage. He actually dashes forward.
Oh, that's the weakness of Morales. No mobility, no dashes, no blinks, no nothing. And the slow from the Hammerang was enough to actually take him down. Nice follow-up, but in return, they kill
JPL dies as well.
Wow!
3 very important takedown as the Nightfall is inside here with those seeds coming up.
This is all the Sunring was used. This is going to be a one-on-one. Snitch runs as fast as he can. Of course, the creep helps quite a bit and saves him that instance. Thrall is just such a strong duelist. If you are a squishy range like Zagara, you better get the hell out of there when that nasty little chieftain attacks you full front.
Sundering was used there, so that's going to be something that's missing in the potential upcoming fight. Medic is going to fly right in there. Oh, it's fighting time.
Sneaky little maneuver. 3 members of Dignitas unloading and coming from an unexpected angle. The Divine Palm was a little bit too early there, and that is another reason, of course, why Team Liquid should retreat for now. Vortex very low. The Big Maw having several members, sorry about that, at the same time. Ethereal Angel trying to follow up there, but good disengage. That's where the Mighty Gust really comes in.
Yeah, that was very important here to properly disengage from this. Liquid still with a few more takedowns, but experience-wise, we really have Dignitas catching up, and even in momentum here now, they just chase them away. They got a bunch of seeds at the bottom. They regroup at the top and going to be taking all of those from the Terror.
Dealing damage to that Scene Shine camp here as well, and in the meantime, Snitch going for the first Garden Terror, but so is Lowell. And of course, Thrall, melee assassins in general, or warriors are the prime targets to actually pilot that Garden Terror, because they fulfill a similar role, you know, going into the enemy line, trying to go for the back line, peeling for allies.
They're going to fight
similar
for the
jobs here.
They're going to fight for the seeds here.
Oh,
Dignitas
coming in, reinforcements have arrived.
Dignitas is so close to securing another Terror here, but they're going to choose to fight here at first, flying in with the Medivac beforehand. Yeah, remember, it's Zagara in the Terror here for Team Dignitas, and Lowell on the other side.
Vortex, look at that beautiful Mighty Gust pulling all the members back to his allies. Now a huge mosh pit coming in from Lucifron. Lowell with it. The Garden Terror still chasing down JPL.
Morales got blown up. She got blown up pretty much instantly. There's going to be no healer here for Dignitas in this fight, but Liquid are taking so much damage anyway.
That is actually really, really nice for Team Liquid here. Without a healer, Team Dignitas is forced to pull back, and they can't even capitalize on the Garden Terror. They have to use it to defend their own fort.
Well, I mean, it's a nice night, but they didn't really achieve anything behind it, and now Morales is back. She can fly right back in there if she wants to. Yeah, she's gonna do that. She came back so fast. That's like, Medivac is like right wing swaddle.
And look at the seat count, by the way, in the bottom right corner. 89 against 11. That is actually pretty good and favors Team Dignitas for the next fight to come.
Yeah, I think they're gonna let that Terror expire and then fight again. Level 13, though, is available for Team Liquid.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be one talent up. Can they catch Wimpy?
I mean, Muradin is very good at escaping, but I'm not sure if he's going to get out of that. He's just trying to buy time
he's going to buy
for
as
the
much
rest of
time
the
as
team,
he
right?
can.
Yeah.
I might be able to buy a little bit more. He's going to draft those down there.
No way. No.
Oh, have to use Thundering for this. They came with 5 heroes. In the meantime, Dignitas already rotated onto other lanes. So we've got Kertas at top, Zaga in the middle, Sonya doing her thing in the jungle.
That's something you mentioned, by the way. Sonya really great at clearing those mercenary camps. And in the meantime, though, Team Liquid, they're trying to keep up and catch up in terms of overall seed counts. 71 against 89, a lot better than it looked before. But now Dignitas is about to hit level 13, and let's see what they're going to have in store for us there.
That was a very important fight win here for Team Liquid, just because Dignitas, even though they were behind in level and even in talent, they had so many seeds. They could have gotten themselves another Terror, which would have been a disaster here for Team Liquid. So
yeah,
level 13 talents here come into play.
And you can actually see that Bakery respects the damage and engagement potential coming in from Team Liquid a lot more. As a 13 talent, we see Couples Therapy coming in here to protect himself as well. And whenever he's using Healing Beam on an ally, you know, healing himself for a tiny little bit amount as well. Now, Ethereal Angel being supported by the Bruiser camp, dealing as much damage as he can, but of course he smells that. The spider senses are tingling. Lao leading the charge, followed by Lucifron on the ETC. He's gonna get away though.
Yeah, pretty nicely done here from both teams. Just stabilizing, taking it slow for now. I think Liquid, they'd be delighted with getting level 16 before any kind of fight takes place in the near future. But that mid 40 is very exposed, and a big rotation is now happening from Team Liquid. Do they actually want to engage before 16?
ETC trying to flank here, being stopped by the displacement grenade though. Get him head also messing a little bit with Sonya here. False there flying in. Where's the Mighty Gust gonna land, if at all? Being saved for now. Ethereal Angel, now they're pulling them away. Beautiful isolation here, very easy peasy. Not only was the Mighty Gust used, but also the Sundering just to be on the safe side of things here. Securing a very important kill on Ethereal Angel, who couldn't actually do a lot against that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much that could be done here. Like, his team kind of gave up on him as well. Bakery with more or less would have had to get too close to save him and then probably died himself. So they were like, all right, we'll leave this one behind this one time. The timers are still not that long, to be honest, at this stage of the game. So it's not the biggest of losses. Lost them a little bit of XP, but I'm pretty sure the plan's simple here from Dignitas. They're going to want to sit back, get level 16 themselves, and then fight. But with the Knights coming up and the seeds that they're going to have to fight for, they might be forced into an unfavorable fight.
Sometimes you really have to make a big decision here. For example, when you're in the shoes of Dignitas. Once they unlock a Garden Terror, do they want to split push with it and close the distance in XP? Or do they actually want to use it along their teammates to not lose a team fight?
Yeah, it can be pretty tough to decide. Shrimpy, gonna be able to get out of there. It feels like Shrimpy spends half his time in bushes trying to spot people and then dwarf tosses out of there every single time.
Yeah, now Team Liquid, they know they have a huge advantage here going on right now. Using the Sylvanas to disable that fort. You know, Black Arrow doing a lot of work here. And Dignitas, they're doing the exactly right thing. Ethereal Angel going for a sneaky maneuver here, soloing that fort, bringing them a lot closer to level 16, actually.
It's like Liquid's not slowing down. Knowing that they're one talent up, they're going to press forward, take out the entire wall here at the top. They've got the Sea Giants as well, getting very, very close. But Dignitas, they're closing in on level 16 very rapidly. They might be eager to engage here in a second.
Exactly, they're trying to close in from different angles. Now, Shrimpy, I think he's trying to bait them. Now, Sonya comes into the fray, joining him with a whirlwind, but Team Liquid, they're on the retreat because they know that the next Night Fit is just around the corner.
Steam drone. Oh, no. Oh, never. Yeah,
no, we saw the medic back,
It looked like it looked weird for a second here on the Sonya.
Yeah.
Wow, they're going for the terror right next to them. Ethereal Angel.
This is almost like a boss throw pit sometimes, right? When you fight the Garden
Probably
Terror.
not as much, but yeah, it can be dangerous. I'm a little bit surprised that Liquid are the ones pulling back. I guess they've got a few of the smaller seeds. So moving to the bottom and securing the smaller seeds already is like a smart move because then you get way more than your opponents. While starting to work on the bigger terror, which has more. But no, actually, they don't commit just yet. Liquid definitely playing it a little bit shy here right now.
Both teams, you know, they want to seize control over the second or the last remaining neutral Garden Terror.
It feels like it's all about guts.
Yeah.
And whenever they're equal on talents or even close in levels, Dignitas has a lot more guts. They're willing to go into these fights, whereas Liquid, they just always kind of pull back and are a lot more hesitant.
Let's keep track of Lowell in the Garden Terror here. He's a lot faster with his team than Team Dignitas' Garden Terror is going to be. So they have now a massive teamfight presence. And unlike the Dragon Knight, the Garden Terror is super powerful at disabling enemies. And now we go in. Ethereal Angel using the Ancient Spear to mark a target. And that Falstad just died and exploded within milliseconds there.
Yeah, it just blew up pretty much instantly. That's going to mean trouble here for Team Liquid, who are getting chased down. Dignitas looking to try and get the 2-0 lead here in this best of 5. If they can get the victory here on Team Liquid's map, Garden of Terror.
Yo, Shrimpy and Snitch leading the charge here, and we're gonna have to take a look here. Lowell with the Garden Terror, he's not with his team right now. He's not defending, he's still in the middle lane, clearing the waves, and now he might actually flank them from behind. 15 seconds left on Falstad to be back for his team.
He might fly right in there, maybe even behind him to try and Mighty Gust, which could be dangerous as well.
Bakery and JPL, they have to be careful not to get flanked by a Falstad and being pushed in there.
Bakery staying very far back. I think he knows. He's gonna mini back out of there.
They're gonna evacuate here.
Let's get the hell out of here. We'll be back.
Bakery, such a nice guy. He's not abandoning his teammates. He's a true bro.
Oh, I mean, they don't really have a choice, did they? They could have stayed behind if they wanted to. It wasn't really up to them, yeah.
There we go now. Garden Terror also expired here for Team Liquid. I mean, Dignitas, they have been doing a great job at closing in the distance. I mean, they're not really far behind anymore. It used to be a level or a level and a half almost.
Yeah, they killed the first keep, and they've got more seeds. Oh, no, actually, no, it's 74, so...
Yeah.
It's about
Almost
the same
equal,
thing,
yeah. Now, both teams have retreated. They're clearing mercenary camps at the same time. It's really cool to see that they share the same mind goal here. But,
I mean, seeds-wise, from the next...
The game
nights
couldn't
that
be
will
closer
come up,
right now.
Yeah, I think both teams will be getting a terror.
Yeah.
So it's going to be equal then again.
Exactly. So the night phase, that is going to be the very decisive factor here. It's going to kick in just a little bit longer. Zagara, by the way, we see the Medivac coming in, but Lowell, he spotted them!
If Liquid had known, they would have set up already. More or less might be exposed here.
Now a golden, the counter more, stopping the ETC Mosh Pit. Lieutenant Morales falling now though. Ethereal Angel getting away with the Mystical Spirit at the last second. Now it's Wimpy though. Lucifer dying here as well. What a slugfest. Gerdam saving himself with a golden Divine Palm. Very nicely done. It's still a major advantage though for Team Liquid. Vortex coming in here. Mighty Gust once again pinning Zagara against that wall. And they killed 3 members of Team Dignitas, Todd.
Yeah, and lose just a single one. Liquid could not have asked for a better fight here. A very chaotic one. It felt like, that's the way you want those fights to go, where more or less he's kind of trapped inside, she has nowhere to run, nowhere to duck and take cover. And they took her out pretty quickly, and behind this, the rest of the team followed.
The best way to confuse a Morales is to focus her attention to multiple angles and multiple targets. If you manage to do that, she can focus and concentrate her healing beam on a single target, which is of course her very strong point here. Now, Team Liquid still trying to go for that keep in the bottom lane.
They've got their level 20.
I think they're going to get it.
Triple Bolt of the Storm, Nexus, Frenzy here on the Fastad.
Yeah. That's really cool, and we see once again the peaceful repose here on Karazim, allowing him to cast multiple Divine Palms, potentially toying with their enemies here.
Gerdam has already actually been very impressive on the Karazim, landing some very crucial palms.
Absolutely.
Earlier.
Almost in bakery fashion here. I mean...
Against bakery.
Now, both teams have hit level 20. We're going to see Morales with the Cataseus Reactor 2.0, protecting herself and also giving her a lot of mana regeneration as long as she's not attacked here.
Rewind on the Muradin this time around, though. They want to have a little bit more stun lock here to walk with.
Yeah. It's also needed to keep Morales safe a little bit longer by potentially using a double Storm Bolt, double Thunderclap to keep Thrall at bay. You know, I like that choice quite a bit. Now, Medivac coming in. The fight has begun. Garden Terror once again, but look at Team Liquid. They're trying to go for a sneaky maneuver. While Team Dignitas is busy fighting the Garden Terror, they're trying to ambush and backdoor here, but they teleported back just in time. Now this could get very messy.
But the Terror is getting close. There is going to be a Mighty Gust to walk with as well from Vortex. He's going to Mighty Gust the entire team back. Preemptive mosh pit here, and the Terror of Lowell is going to start going to town here on this court. They might be able to get it. I think they will.
They will, because the Garden Terror can disable the core now as well. Ever since the last patch update hit the stage, they are going to do it. Team Liquid balancing out the game 1-1 here. Strong performance, good calls, good maneuvers. The core falls down to 15%, and what a solid performance here. Great game overall, GG. Both teams with a phenomenal performance. Great talk.
Liquid wins from the Unmafia Garden Terror, and looks like we've got a fight on our hands. 1-1 score in this best of 5, bringing it back very nicely with some very stereotypical Liquid play here on this map. A lot of very calculated moves between the north and south, collecting the steeds.
I liked it quite a bit, and once again, it looks like Team Liquid finally found a good counter to Bakery's Lieutenant Morales. I mean, this time they put him under a lot of pressure. Huge congrats here to Lowell as well. Kudos to him for being such a great thrall, constantly pressuring. And you could really see how well Sundering and Mighty Gust worked together at separating the team.
He actually toppled the damage both in Hero and Siege, which I'm sure the Terror helped.
Of course, that's also influenced, because of the plant terror. But he has 0 deaths. Sometimes he was in the plant, but he did really well in Thrall form as well. It was cool to see that now they already had this solution, but that now they're using it against Lieutenant Morales.
And that's exactly what they needed. They needed some adaptation. They needed to be able to implement this, right? And for Thrall, a hero that in the previous meta was almost never ever seen to just come in now after the scaling changes, after having this momentum, swing a little bit against Morales. It's really nice to see those little adaptations.
Yeah. All in all, stellar performance. Once again, I actually have to think here that Lau is slowly but surely establishing himself as one of the prime melee assassin players in Europe. Not only in terms of skill, but also in terms of innovation. First the damage, Karazim, now the Thrall, great stuff.
I mean, looking at the Morales positioning there, they'd already forced her into a bad position, so that was kind of a freebie in essence during this team fight. But then the carried on pressure that they were able to put on and keep themselves alive, especially with the important palm. Very, very last second as well. It can be hard to get that right under these pressure situations.
I mean, Morales is always a freebie if you can get close to her, and that's always the trick. But like I said, it was a very chaotic fight. You know, they were backed into a corner, and then you can't really run away from there.
And that's what Falstad actually really excels at, backing people into a corner. I think we saw some really great moments here from Vortex coming out. Often doing the flanking with Falstad. That's actually one of the tips that I will take into my own play, because when I'm Falstad, I finish the game with 20,000 hero damage and 9 deaths. But I see a lot of Falstads here doing the flanks, coming with the very high value Mighty Gust, which pushes Morales out of position. And then you have that follow-up of the ETC and Thrall, able to take her out.
Liquid not messing around here, by the way. They knew that they had a lot of potential with Mighty Gust to buy themselves some time. And I mean, 19th minute Terror usually doesn't joke around with the core.
This was slightly poorly executed. I mean, they had a 3-man mosh pit, pushed them out of it with Mighty Gust, and actually relied on the last 2 heroes to finish off this core. And it was such a position of comfort, though.
The Garden Terror dropping very much here, and I think this was a lot closer than it looked at first glance. I mean, the messy execution of the Mighty Gust and the mosh pit here made it a lot more exciting than it should have been.
I'm glad that after this fantastic game, we can pick up mistakes from Liquid during the final push where they took down the core.
I mean, they had so much overpower, right? Like, they could have killed almost 2 cores with what they had. And anyway, it was still comfortable, but
I mean,
they're not there yet. 1-1.
In the end, good stuff to see the fact that they're not going to go down 2-0 and then make the comeback. They're actually able to kind of adapt already on the fly in between our first and second games. Of course, guys, don't forget you can be involved with the DreamHack itself as well. You are in with the chance of guaranteeing yourself Cho'Gall in the game of Heroes of the Storm by attaching your Battle.net account to your Twitch account and watching from 6 p.m. onwards. Is it actually 6 p.m. onwards already?
It's 10 past 6 already, so if you have been watching, you've been doing the right thing, and you shall probably be enjoying Cho'Gall by December 4th.
Yes, fantastic stuff. So definitely something to enjoy playing with a friend. Very, very fun. Don't think we're going to be seeing him anytime soon in this tournament just yet, unless somebody's saving it for the crazy final, and then everyone's mind would explode.
Oh, absolutely, man. This would be one of the golden highlights.
And the final game of the Grand Finals.
We cannot forget the moment where Team Na'Vi in the Road to BlizzCon Europe was 2-0 against Team Dignitas. And said, the game so far have been so comfortable, plus we got this really cool pocket strategy. Let's use it in game 3.
Yeah. And it was brutality.
We could see that here, maybe.
We definitely could.
First, you have to get into that 2-0 safety zone, though.
And then have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if that goes down. Of course, Team Liquid and Team Dignitas here at the moment, 1-1 in this series right now. So Team Liquid able to mount the comeback and also able to learn on the fly, which is very, very cool. So Bakery Airlines won't be departing potentially here on the medevac and trying to keep himself alive. But one thing that is important to note is that Team Liquid have always been strong on Garden of Terror. Where are we going next? And does that give Team Dignitas a bit more of a momentum swing here now that we're not on Team Liquid's favorite map?
I mean, if Dignitas' only weak map is Garden of Terror, then they're looking pretty strong nonetheless, right? Because, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see, though, which map it's going to be. I would assume maybe Infernal Shrines or Cursed Hollow to make things work a little bit better in their favor. Also, with the little 10 rallies, you can really position yourself quite well on these maps. If Bakery intends to go for it, of course.
Yeah, that is true, of course. As we'll be getting into the draft for game number 3 in just a little bit here. But with Liquid at least getting themselves 1 on the board, as I say, before they do fall down a little bit against that, it really shows that they are still one of the main competitors in Europe. They are still rivaling for the title here. Yes, they got a bit bopped by Fnatic yesterday, but that was very early in the morning. This is a refreshed Team Liquid. This is a rested Team Liquid, looking pretty good.
Yeah, and in Spain, they really live in the evening. They're evening people, aren't they? Having dinner at 8 or 9 p.m. So early in the morning,
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they were bad.
I talked to them though before, and they all said they were extremely tired. I asked them what time they woke up yesterday. It was like 8 or 9 a.m. So to be playing that long into the night, yeah, I can imagine it would affect people. But I heard that Breeze was going hell for leather anyway, like at 3 a.m. in the morning, going crazy. Hey, they beat Team Liquid, that's cool or whatever. But Breeze is Breeze. He does what he does. All right, so we're getting into the draft pretty soon. Team Dignitas is ready, and we are just waiting for Team Liquid to ready up and get going. The funny thing is when you watch Team Dignitas, even when they lose a game, their facial expressions almost never change. As I say, we've kind of listened into their comms before. They're almost absolutely silent. It's the worst thing to listen to in the world.
Let's not do that again, please.
No, please, 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 never again.
Let's listen to a tape of cricket to see how Dignitas is communicating during these crucial moments.
I wonder if that's changed a little bit with Shrimpy and Jay joining the team. Do you think they would have changed, or they're just as...
He probably got worse.
Shrimpy is really, really talkative. There's one time he wouldn't shut up. Like, it's incredible.
Hey, you'd be surprised on TeamSpeak. Well, anyway, let's get into it. It's going to be